time it is. It is time for us to grow our businesses. It's time for us to build our businesses. And it's time for us to protect our businesses. You know that this week we are talking about something that most business owners don't even think about. Right. They think about, I'm going to make this money. They think about, I'm going to have all these clients. But you don't think about the systems that you have in your business. And here's the thing. When you have the right systems in your business, you are able to build those systems to a place of automation to attract clients all on its own and to make sales all on its own. You all know who I am. I am the attorney and business strategist, Jamila Moore, where I help you start and grow your businesses while legally protecting them with trademarks, contracts, copyrights, and compliance. I'm your superpower. I'm your lethal weapon. What else is there to say?
All right now.
Malika.
Yes. Hello, people. It is so great to see you guys again this week. I am Malika Shea, a fractional CMO. I help businesses market and monetize their services through clear messaging and effective strategies. And I am excited for this conversation. We definitely gonna be going in a little deeper this week. Really cutting into some of the things that I think is not really spoke about often in regards to how the automations could actually impact your business in a positive or even a negative way on all aspects, from the legal, the marketing and sales, the customer relationships, the building relationships, like the whole 9 yards. So we're here. We're here. And what I want to say is, guys, make sure you bring in your questions. All right. That's what we're here for. So this is not just us, just rambling and talking. We definitely want to interact and be here as a service to you guys. So definitely ask your questions in the comments, and we got you covered.
Yeah. I wonder if the audience really understands why these are so important. Like, you get marketing, you get sales, you get legal, and you get business all in one place every other week. And being able to pull from almost like 4 departments, which you would need in your business.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't even think
It's
about
like
that.
you get half of your business here on this Thursday when you actually come in and participate. So folks really start to share, like, subscribe, tag people, because it's really important for them. Now, in order for you to actually have something to automate, you actually have to build out a reputable system that you actually test to see if it actually works. You don't want to automate things that don't even work. And so when I'm working with business owners and I'm talking to them about, I'm going to do the front end systems for right now. It's still back end. It's going to take back end, but it comes out in the front. So you
Hmm.
have to first build your lead system. You have to have a sales system, and then you have to have a referral system. So those are 3 systems that you need to have in place in your business if you're going to get to that place of automation, if you're going to get to that place of drawing in clients automatically. Because what happens when you have not thought out the step by step? The system is the step by
Yes.
step. Type
Yes.
step by step in the chat, because you need to
Yes.
understand that the system is the step by step where you actually plan for a certain outcome. Malika, how can they understand this from a marketing and sales perspective?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing here with marketing and sales. One of the first things I do when I meet a client is an audit, right? I
Mhm.
am I am doing an audit, not just going in on a back end and see what's going on with your business from the website, the analytics stuff, but I'm also asking you, what system do you currently have in place? What is the process that happens when X, Y, and Z happens? So if you are selling a service, I'm going to ask you, okay, so when a client calls your business, what is the process that you currently have? When a customer goes to a client goes to your website, what is the process that you have, or what is the process that they actually go through from that point on? when somebody interacts with you on social media, what is the process that they go through, or what is the process or the steps that you take now to nurture that relationship? So all of these things are so important, and questions that I ask, because what that will do for me is help me see where the opportunities are for me to connect the dots and tie in those those loose ends or those gaps, right? To fill in those gaps so that way we can create a well-oiled machine to get your business up and running and automated as quickly as possible. But the main thing is to also as efficient as possible, right? And so yeah, those are the things in the very beginning that I need to know in order for me to start building. Because again, marketing and sales is not just, oh, okay, you have a product, let's talk about strategy, but let's really start the foundational things. And y'all gonna hear me say this a lot about the foundational things, because that's so important. But it's about the foundational things and learning just what Jamila said is the process, the steps, what are the steps that's currently happening in order for you to be able to even get to the point of knowing what needs to be automated. Because a lot of times, and Jam, you can confirm or deny this, the businesses that you work with, do they really understand and know that there's a process, but their process is not really that effective, or there's some broken change within that process?
Listen, Leak, I think the bigger issue is that people are trying to patchwork business. And here is the danger with the patchwork CEOs. The danger with the patchwork CEOs is that they think because they're bringing in money that they actually have a successful and sophisticated business. I was listening to something earlier and it said that most businesses are 2 months away from being shut down from a profit standpoint,
Yep.
right? And so because you have hustled your way, because if it's not systematized, it's hustletized. Yep, I'm creating words. I am the
Okay.
trademark attorney, so that's why I create. But it's hustletized, right?
Yeah.
Because no one could then step into your business and then do the thing that you were doing or that you want automated when you are doing that patchwork business type of business. And so I want to push everyone to kind of pause and really like do a self assessment as to what is happening in their business and if they even have a foundation. Like, some people are so gifted and so talented that they just started making money because of I do what I do. You do what you do, but are you about to lose what you do? Are
Right.
you about to sabotage what you do? Those are the
Right.
things that kind of like, I really lean into with businesses, because we think about, okay, I want the sale, but what's the process? And then what is the customer experience?
Right. Right.
Right? And what's
Exactly.
the customer experience, even if they're not buying?
Right. Yep. A lot of businesses are not even thinking that far ahead. And you got to be thinking about retention, at some point. And it was something I was going to that you had said that jogged my memory. And I was going to say, oh, just kind of just with the automations, we want to start thinking about too how, if you find yourself constantly running on this hamster wheel, right? Running on a hamster wheel, and you are spending so much time in your business doing a lot of manual things, you at that point you have to stop and say, okay, hold on a minute. I need to hire someone to help me build out these processes and this automation, because A, it's going to lead to burnout. B, it's not going to be sustainable or scalable, right? Because now you're talking about, if you're looking to grow your business, you want to be able to automate certain things within your business, to be able to sustain the business that you're going to ultimately get, right? And so, um, when we start talking about like some of the things that needs to be in place when we're talking about the foundation, I definitely, from a sales and marketing standpoint, I would say, if anybody had to choose, just kind of, starting from the beginning, I would say definitely make sure that you have your CRM in place, right? Your client relationship management system in place. Definitely some type of, just what Jam said, the lead generation automation system in place. And at the bare minimum, your meetings bookings. That is a bare minimum thing that you need to have on automation. So if you're going back and forth with someone, well, what time is good for you? Or what time is good for you? And like, no. Stop it right now. Just send a calendar link and make it easier and be able to automate that process so people can just kind of go on. And honestly, it doesn't even matter how big or how small or what industry you're in. Everybody, if you run any type of business, you should have a calendar. I don't care if you get one client every other month. You should have some type of some type of calendar where they can just go on and book um freely. Yes, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, I think that's really strong. And so I think about the businesses that so here are the two types of businesses that end up coming to me when they're first starting or when they've started wrong. And then they're having this, oh, aha moment and then having to rebuild. And so one of the things that I'm always impressing upon them is like, when you created your business, you should have created a mission and vision, and you should have values. And that mission, vision, and values should live throughout each of the systems within your business. And
Mm,
so if someone comes to you, you have to make sure that if your value is excellence, then your systems have to be excellent. So thanking people after they show up for something, depending upon the price point, adding in a special touch to show that you appreciate your clients. And then one of the things that I think that's missed is each system you have needs to have a legal component to it,
right.
whether
Mm,
people are aware of it or not. Simply going to certain websites, even if you're taking something free or you're giving something free, you've just invoked the law into your business. And I
mm,
think the one thing that I would want to caution business owners on is the fact that don't just think about the money. I think that people are into, just because they want to make money or they know how to make money, they think that they are building out a business. No, you are making money.
right.
But if
Oh,
you
yeah. There's a difference.
yeah, and if you really want to build out a business, it has to have systems, steps, processes, and procedures. And so, one of the first things that I tell people is, okay, if we're going to work on your lead system, let's start from scratch and figure out what journey are you taking your customer on, right? So, what is that first step? What is that second step? What is that third step? And then, talking to them, nurturing them up to the sales system, right? And I
Right.
think a lot of things that I see, and I've made these mistakes, right? Like,
Mhm.
what you mean you don't want to spend $5,000 on my course? It's better than that $20,000 one. Like, and you
Right.
become
And you
entitled, right?
right, right. But
So,
then you forgot oh, go ahead, I'm
no,
sorry.
no, go.
No, I was gonna say, right. I mean, I've been there, but then you have to think about, well, dag, did I take this customer through all the steps of the customer journey, or am I just really trying to, I'm getting them. They're coming in at the very top of the funnel, but I'm trying to sell them as if they've been here for a minute. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to be very, very mindful of that. And during each part of the journey, will you'll need a specific strategy. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where that whole lead generation thing comes in. So when we tie all of this into, how does it increase your sales? This is exactly how it does increase your sales because again, you're taking the customer through the process and every step of the way. What you do and how you interact with that customer is very, very intentional, right? And so when they get to a certain step, then okay, this is the action that I need to take to push them further along that customer journey funnel to ultimately converting them. And then once they convert, guess what? You want them to now be that customer to go out and promote you. Right. And so, how do you be able to do that? Well, you start to build those relationships to retain them, right? You get them to do a customer review, right? So that kind of goes back into a system in place, which is what I do is help business with their reputation, their online reputation management. Like some people don't even realize that in itself is a whole nother marketing piece. And there's companies that I've worked with who have been online. They're online in so many different online directories and things like that relative to their, to their industry. And there's bad reviews on there they don't even know about. They have no clue about. But meanwhile, they don't know about it. But guess what? There's customers that's actually reading it. And so you need a company or someone to be able to monitor that stuff and basically be able to just kind of clean all of that up for you. But not only just clean it up, but be able to constantly get those reviews and get people to actually be your cheerleader at the end of the day. And that way, that also helps with the whole sales process. So, again, when we talk about systems and how that affects your sales, that is one way that reputation management can help you increase your sales.
No, that's really good, and you just made me think about compliance as you were talking, and having a compliance system in place in your
Mm,
business to make sure, one, that you have checks and balances on the systems. Right? Because I read something. I guess I've been doing a lot of research and reading. I read something where it says, if someone leaves a comment or reaches out to you, 9 times out of 10, you can convert them if you have a touch point within the same hour.
yes,
Right. So if you have that system in place that's automated, you are then in a position to get more quality leads and to stop leaving customers on the table. Right.
absolutely.
And so when we're leaving customers on the table, we end up frustrated and feeling like we're failing, when in reality, if we had a system, our system would sell for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we as, small business owners, we wear in a lot of hats. We want to eliminate as much manual things as possible in our business, right? And I know that sometimes a lot of us, we have this fear of things going wrong, and so we also don't want to delegate. But we have to let go, learn to let go, be able to delegate, but also within that delegation process know what we need to delegate, right? And how we can automate some of those delegations. So even though you're delegating it to someone else, don't have them go and do the manual thing that you've been doing, right? You can delegate it and let AI or let the systems do what it do. Let the software do what it do. And then you can have somebody who actually monitors that and runs the system on the back end. So we're talking about, again, how does that increase your sales? How does that increase your profits? Well, time is money, right? And so I've had an agency, a company tell me pretty much that they were spending upwards of 14 hours a week just on manually going in and responding to different reviews on Google, Yelp, WebMD, because there was their medical provider, and a couple of other sites. 14 hours a week. And that's something that at the end of the day, what can you use that 14 hours? What else can you do with that 14 hours? You know what I mean? And if you're paying somebody 14 hours a week for that, that's throwing away money. You could be utilizing them to do something else or not even having to pay that at all, you know? So it's a lot of things that as business owners we have to be mindful of when it comes to the automation piece of it and how it can affect our profits and our sales on the back end and the front end as well.
Yeah, you just made me think of something that I've kind of been wrestling with lately. And I think the biggest thing that's keeping people from an increase in profits and increase in clients is that they don't have a system to becoming a CEO.
Mm,
I'm
yeah.
going to say that again. Most people do not have a system to becoming a CEO. And because they don't have a system to becoming a CEO, they are, I don't know if you've ever been to that get to like an arcade where you try and hit the thing that's popping up. They
Hmm.
spend their time, money, and energy trying to hit the thing that's popping up rather than building themselves up to actually manage the different departments that they have in their business, right? And so if I would go back and just start to step out what it means to be a CEO, one, I would say, what is a CEO responsible for? Right? Because the problem is we're leading with trying to get to the profits. Girl, Jamila says it's whack-a-mole. Yeah, they playing that whack-a-mole. So the first thing that people are doing is we're just going profit first. Like, what's the first route to profitability? So then we're building a hustling machine rather than building out a business and becoming a CEO. When the first thing I would say now is, okay, I got to think about what does it take to run a business? What are the different departments that are in a business? Right. And so then I need to assess what areas am I strong in and what areas am I weak in. Then that's going to inform me on what masterminds, courses, and things that I take. Then I have to figure out what is my CEO cadence, right? Everybody don't have 15 hours to do X, Y, and Z. If I work a 9 to 5 and I have 7 hours a week, I have to be able to build out something that's going to be a business within that 7 hours a week, right?
Absolutely.
So after you take that, then hold on, because this is too good, and people not even responding to this in the chat like this. This is too good.
Let me check the chat and see what we got over here.
After you figure out, okay, bam, I have these 3 things in place as a CEO, then you say, okay, who do I need to hire, and what do I have within my budget to even do hiring, right? Because just because you have revenue does not mean you have profits. I'm going too deep. They're not ready for this. First of all, this is consultation stuff. This
It
is
is.
stuff.
It is. It is. But you know what, Jam? They need this. They need this. And I know y'all got some questions out there, so y'all need to pop them in the chat. Don't be quiet. This is not the place to be quiet. Go ahead and pop those questions in the chat because you are getting some A1 information right now from, again, how many departments is that, Jay? What did you say? 3, 4,
No,
5? What
we
we
got
got?
four departments in their business online right now.
Right
Giving
now.
free
Right.
game. But you know what?
Right.
These are the 2 overlooked departments
No,
because
they are.
they want to go straight to development. You ain't got nothing to develop, baby. Like,
But you know what's funny? I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna pat myself on the back. You know, I'm gonna on the back for this is because we're overlooked in the small business sector. But remember, I've helped over I don't know how many, several Fortune 500 companies get over $1 billion in sales. And when I tell you, them folks love the marketing and sales department. Marketing has the biggest budgets, right? And sales is the last department to go. Why? Because we bringing in a revenue. And so what I want is the smaller business owners, even if you're just starting out, to have that same mentality. Right? Don't overlook the legal and the marketing and the sales. Don't do that because at the end of the day, these are the departments that's going to build the development part, the whatever other departments that you know that there could be HR and whatever else. We are the departments that at the end of the day sustain the business. And so definitely don't want to overlook those departments and those things. Jam, I think you're muted.
nope, I'm not muted, but
Oh,
I was just shaking my head.
okay.
No, I think that that's spot on, and but that goes to the fact of like people building the CEO. Like the first system that you need to build in your business is you, because if you're not building you, then you are not going to be able to get yourself to a place where your business isn't a burden and you don't feel like you're hustling. You don't feel like it's the endless rat race and you're doing whack-a-mole. And so, yeah, I think today is probably a wake-up call. And I hope that people are tagging people, sharing this with other people, because you can only go as far in your business as the systems you have will take you. And so if you are going slow, your systems might be low.
I like that one. I have a question from Teresa coming in. What
Mhm.
is the top type of automation systems to start for a business who's just starting out, who don't necessarily have a budget to put everything in place? What would you what would you say?
Yeah, I would say the first thing is just making sure that one, you have the right mission, you have the right brand. Like, you have to have a brand that includes your fonts, your colors, your mission, your vision, your values. Then from there, right? Then you have your digital headquarters or whatever, or at least a one sheeter if you don't have a website. From there, you have to decide what is going to be my method for getting customers. And so in this world, we call it leads. So then, what is the step by step process that I am going to use in my business to make sure that I am getting in front of people? And when I get in front of my people can easily get into my system and my world, and then that they can go through an automated process thereafter. And I think sometimes people don't understand the purpose of a lead magnet.
Yes, yes, yes. I just had this conversation earlier today. Go
Go
ahead, Jam.
take
You
it.
preaching
Go
some
take
stuff.
it. Take it on. Tell me about this conversation earlier with this lead magnet stuff.
Yes. So that is one of the first things when I start talking about, having my consultations with the clients and talking about a lead magnet. They're like, "Oh, well, I already have a website." So let me just explain it too. The lead magnet serves a purpose, just a purpose, it just serves that purpose. It's either to capture your leads, or to promote something specific that you want to promote. And your website does everything else, right? And some. But the lead magnet serves one specific purpose, and that is ultimately to generate leads for your business. And I don't care if you have a gazillion websites. If you don't have a lead magnet, you're ultimately you're missing out. You're missing out because you think about our websites is busy, right? There has a lot of different things on there, and people are just kind of searching and this and that and the other. And what I have done, and this is honestly, I'm going to give y'all a gem right now, but this is one of the things that I did when I was working with a lot of the bigger companies. Is we set our goals on what what we want those goals to be for the month. So if it's a $36 million goal, right? So we kind of reverse engineer and look at what is the products that we need to sell to get to that goal, how many we need to sell to get to that goal, how many calls do they need to make. And part of that process is, guess what, it was every month we were creating lead magnets depending on what it was we wanted to push. That is what businesses do. Right? That is how you get successful. That is how you gain the momentum. And guess what? Once that lead magnet is created, very seldom do you have to go back and recreate the whole thing. There might be little things that you might need to tweak, but when I tell you, if somebody is saying, you know what, I'm gonna charge you $3,000 to do a lead magnet, y'all better pay that $3,000 and don't say anything. Why? Because that in itself is going to be bringing you, it's going to work like a workhorse over and over and over and over and over and over and again for you.
I'm gonna add to this lead magnet piece, and then I got another aha for the people. And then we gonna go because they need to be booking consultations.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
They need to be getting their businesses audited. So here is this. Your lead magnet should actually be good and speak to the value of your brand and not just
Hmm.
be something you slapped on to then
Yes.
make a sale. So ma'am, that's that. But
Very
then,
true.
as I'm thinking through this, one of the things that you just pointed out is we actually need a system for us and what it would mean for us to actually go out and build out the business in a way that won't be detrimental to our wealth. And so, what
Mm.
I mean by that is you need a spending system in your business, right? And so, here the small business also neglects this department, the accounting and
Mm.
finance department. Now, I'm not the accounting and finance specialist. However, I do know a little bit about a little bit about a little bit, right? And so, one is like, do you even have an operating budget? Two, do you have an overall budget? And so if you don't know those things, that's another thing, that's another system that's going to lead to you having low sales, right? Because when you really understand your operating budget and what it takes to run your business, you're gonna be like, hold on, I need about 10 more clients per month. I need
Mm-hmm.
this, right? So your
Mm-hmm.
goals have to increase, right? Because are you in it to survive or are you in it to thrive?
To thrive, right?
Malika, any
Absolutely.
last comments, thoughts? We've been on here giving it to the people for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I mean, just I would say my last comments and thoughts is really, sit down, take some time and sit down and figure out at the end of the day, where can you create an automation? Like what in your business are you doing where you feel like, you know what, this is just too much. I need to focus my time on something else. And be open to having a conversation with a professional who can actually help you. It doesn't cost to have a consultation with me. It doesn't cost to have a consultation with Jam. I don't think so.
It does now. The price
Okay.
went up.
Okay. So, hey, listen, yesterday's price ain't today's price. So there you go. So, um, but yeah, but no, seriously. And so, and what I'm saying that to say, like, just start taking your business seriously. Just as Jan said, think about your business as from a CEO standpoint and long term, not the short term, month to month um, thing. And don't be afraid to invest in the things that you need. Stop trying to cookie cut and patch up and you know what I'm saying, put a band-aid on certain things because it's not going to work. What you put in is what you get out.
Yeah, that's
So,
good. That's good. And the one thing I'm going to leave you with is start working on being a CEO. I just gotta impress it upon so many people. And what it really takes to be a successful CEO. Hustle culture has to go. Whack-a-mole business has to go. Why? Because there are people that actually need you to stay in business. There's a vegan
mhm.
lip stain line that I actually like. It's the best pink ever. Can I go get it again? No. Why? They're not in business.
Oh, wow. And that's what we hear that a lot, especially with a lot of black owned businesses. With a lot of black owned businesses, it's unfortunate. I have a she's a has a beauty supply store here. Very seldom do you see black owned beauty supply stores. And I don't know, she might have been in business for 2 years. And I mean, her prices were outrageous, but I was like, I want to support. And when I talked to her about marketing, it was just like, oh, well, I don't have. And I said, okay, all
Yeah,
right. And I already knew at that point, I was just like, she ain't going to be around long. Sad to
right.
say.
And then that goes back to what I said earlier. You got to have a spending system in your business because if you had a spending system in your business, you would understand that's an investment, right? So
Absolutely.
then I'm looking at, oh, so if I have this much of marketing dollars and my marketing could lead to more sales, then there's a return on this investment. So I have to go get that money. Same way you have to go get that store because you could start selling that high expensive stuff online. But hey, she probably wanted to focus on money rather than, and it's unfortunate, but I think today it really is the wake up call. Become a
Yeah.
CEO.
And you
Become a
gotta be, you gotta be competitive, right? You want to be in a competitive. You're already in a competitive market, but you want to be able to stay in that competitive market. You want to be able to basically not run with the big dogs. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and compete at some level. And if the basic fundamental things is not in place, that's where you're ultimately basically shooting yourself in the foot. From day one.
Yep.
So.
All right, y'all. We will see you soon. We have freebies down in the comments for you where you can grab cheat sheets for marketing, cheat sheets for business and legal. Talk soon.
All right, bye. Bye, guys.